We welcome Brian Duffy into the studio because he always creates something that'll put a smile on your face and make you think at the same time.
I hope.
You hope.
I hope.
You've done a very good job.
Well, thank you. You know, and we've run out of candidates for the most part. There might be somebody wandering
All right, I'll
there.
run.
Okay, do it. Let's stand right here.
Jason.
We will draw you right now.
Ooh, do it.
So it's we're going to do Throwback Thursday.
All right.
Okay.
We're going back in time, not to the beginning of the caucuses, because I'd have to go all the way back to the 1800s. So we're just going to go back to it's kind of like the modern day Olympics. So we're going to go back to the modern day caucuses when they became important and who made them important.
Okay.
And it wasn't Iowa.
Really?
Yeah, it was in Iowa.
It was Iowa, but it was a specific candidate that made them famous, and that would be a guy with rather large teeth. Mm-hmm. If you remember back in 19...
A hankering for peanuts?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So we can go back all the way back to 1976.
So this is a candidate that made the caucuses
What they are today.
Well, this is a candidate that took a look at the fact that he could make a difference, he could get a name for himself rather quickly by showing up here for not a lot of money.
So he's the first one, really, Brian, that figured it out.
Well, really, Gary Hart was the first one that figured it out when he was the campaign director for George McGovern back in 1972. But it was the Carter campaign that really took it to the next level. Now, we like to talk about the fact that what put him on the screen for the most part was the Iowa caucuses. But what grabbed the attention and what sent him, picked him up as far as any kind of attention for the national media was the Jefferson-Jackson dinner, which we've had, I think, the last one here back in October. But he decided that he could make himself known by speaking at that dinner, which is a fundraiser for the Democrats, by the way. But also, he did something that was his campaign did something that was quite unique. He asked if he could have, instead of paying I think it was $50 for the dinner, if there's a way that he could have tickets for his supporters to sit in the balcony and skip the dinner.
Huh.
But they wouldn't. But they were not allowed to vote, and so they went along with that. For $2, they could sit in the balcony and listen to the speeches. And what happened was, his campaign was smart enough to realize that there's national media there, so
Okay.
they're going to be focusing.
Holy teeth, Batman.
I was going to say, you weren't kidding when you
those
said
are
big
his
teeth.
teeth.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. So they were focusing. They knew the cameras would be focusing, just on the maybe the first couple of rows of the balcony. So his entire campaign staff and Jimmy Carter's wife, Rosalind, handed out giant Jimmy Carter buttons and posters so that they got on a television that way.
No, really?
Yeah, great way of doing it.
That's brilliant.
And they couldn't vote supposedly, but I think some of them got their hands on the ballots anyway. And he actually won it by, I think he had 276 votes.
And who was in second? Not to put you on the spot, but
You are putting me in a spot there. I would have to say second place on that one.
we can look on the.
I'm looking it up.
I'm not
You
sure
keep
offhand.
drawing, I'll look it up.
So of course he used that as his launching pad for the Iowa caucuses, and in fact, he really didn't win the Iowa caucuses. The undecided vote won the Iowa caucuses by 37 to, I think, 29%.
Really?
Yeah. So we had Jimmy Carter running around the state here back in 75 and 76. And of course, question on everybody's tongue, including the myriad of pigs in Iowa, was
Who is Jimmy?
Jimmy who? So,
I was 5 and 6 years old, so he's the first president I remember. Was Gerald Ford hated, or was it just because of Nixon, everybody just wanted the
The Nixon
Republicans
thing.
gone?
Yeah, that was a big thing. And really, the Republicans didn't spend a lot of time looking at the. They didn't use the caucuses the same way that the Democrats did. It took them another convention cycle, or actually 2 of them, to do it. So really, Gerald Ford didn't spend much time here, and Ronald Reagan spent none. So it wasn't one that they put any time into. But after Jimmy Carter had brought the awareness of the Iowa caucuses up, everybody, Democrat and Republican candidates came here.
Do you think we'll lose it ever?
It's tough to say. I think there's a possibility of it, but every single cycle that comes around, there's always these people that want to bury it, and it's not been buried yet, and it's continued to go on. So I don't foresee it in the near future. They were saying 2012, 2016. I don't see it. I think it'll last for quite a while still.
Obviously, we hope it does.
Well, of course we do, yeah, because it's just great. I mean, you have the opportunity to see candidates in a way that you never would before.
Right.
So, and we have the system down very well right now.
And if we weren't first, I mean, would they pay attention or much attention to us?
No, not at all, because they
there's
didn't.
no way.
They didn't before 1976. Right. So,
In case you're wondering who else was in the mix in '76, Sergeant Shriver was also in the mix in that year too. But he was way down the voting. So
Interesting.
that was the only other real name.
But
part
a bunch of those candidates did show up at the Jefferson-Jackson dinner, and each of them spoke. It was just that Carter had organized this so well that he was able to garner the most attention.
There you go. All righty. It is 9:39. Well done, Duffy, as always,
you.
and
Yes.
great picture of Jimmy over there.
Love the teeth. I love
thought
the
you were
teeth.
drawing a cat for a second.
No,
then the teeth came into play. Perfect.
Now draw Billy.
Just a can of beer.
Just a can of beer.